Good afternoon, everyone. Corn yields are looking at 12 to 15% below what the USDA had forecast. Private crop tours showing only 18% of corn as mature compared to 51% last year. That's a 33% decline. And finally, the USDA playing catch up here, lowering their corn yields as well per acre. Record cold and snow shown here, pivotal weather. What does that look like moving forward into the GFS model right over our crops over the next couple of weeks? I wonder how it's going to fare. Because when I went into Walmart looking for can shortages, I came across this corn right here. How much would you pay for it? Well, they wanted 50 cents per scrappy ear. And how prepared are you for rising prices in food shocks? My Patriot Supply, 2-week grab-and-go food crate, or the 4-week food supply. Adapt 2030 in My Patriot Supply. The link's in the description box below, and it's another way to support the channel. And as this year of deception continues from the USDA to stabilize markets, not show reality, we have to go up to Progressive Farmer and take a look at a private crop tour, 2019, the digital yield tour. I've linked everything below so you can take a look at their interactive maps. Now, just in these 3 states, remember, this is back in August. The crop tour was already calling well below what the USDA had predicted. They were looking at something like 28 bushels below what the USDA had put out as the forecast. Now remember, this is back in August, so we're going to move through into September here, where the prevent planting acres were the most ever recorded. Look at that, 19.3 million acres unplanted in the United States. Now nobody wanted to talk about that. They only wanted to talk about the yields. And the crop tour continued wherever it was, loss, and more loss, well below what the USDA was talking about. And again, this is a progression here. And as we step right up into September 16th, we can see that the maturity of corn is only 18% across the United States. Last year, this time of the year, 51%. That's astounding. How the markets are not reacting because the USDA continues to put out strange and unusual numbers. So let's take a look at what's happening in the middle of September so far from a private company going out to take a look at our crops. Nebraska, South Dakota, perpetually wet weather took the top off yield potentials in both states. Kansas and Missouri, record wet spring, both states, suppressed yield potential. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, corn and soy yields running significantly below 2018 levels, particularly Iowa. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Eastern Corn Belt yield forecast to break sharply from USDA, and they are talking downwards of 30 bushels per acre. And then lo and behold, finally USDA, thanks for getting on your slow mule to nowhere and coming up to reality here. USDA lowers their yield to 168.2 bushels. Also, soybeans down. And a couple of nuggets here that were in the USDA report that also Progressive Farmer picked out. Corn production for 2019-20 is now lowered 102 million bushels from last month's estimate. But that bottom line there is the most shocking thing of all. Thursday's report was the first time this season that the USDA had actual field data for its survey. Are you kidding me? The field data has been coming in since May. And now in the middle of September, they finally have something quantifiable to make an estimate. I don't know what's broken in the United States Department of Agriculture, but if they're 5 months behind on telling us the true state of our food supply in the United States, something needs to be seriously revamped and reconsidered how they do these measurements. It is a travesty how so many farms have gone out of business based on bogus numbers coming out of the USDA this year. It is shocking. It's appalling. No inquiries into the insider trading when they released their reports. So as we were driving down the road yesterday, I saw Walmart and I go, whoa, stop, Walmart. I want to go in and see if there's any shortages of cans on the shelves. I didn't see any empty shelf space in there, but what I did see was this, wow, everyday low price of 50 cents per ear corn. And you're looking and saying, oh, it doesn't look too bad. So let's zoom in on that a second. Yep. This is the quality of corn offered in Walmart for 50 cents per ear. And then I went around to the other bin, and it does look slightly better, but still For 50 cents an ear, you think you might get something of higher quality. Now, speaking of harvest time, since there's only 18% of the corn that's mature across the entire United States, now we're having this record-breaking cold and snow event on our doorstep. But what it looks like on the GFS map here, this is the anomaly from average temperatures. So that really light purple there, you're looking at around 16 to 20 degrees Celsius below normal, which is about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. This is September 29th, so those of you on the West Coast, this storm is proceeding right now, and it's going to hit over these next couple of days. And as we march through the 30th, you can see the progression of how this cold is moving. And as we get down into October 2nd, not only do we get that ribbon of extreme weather where the hot and cold are colliding, but from here it's game on. It's just cold for the rest of at least the 2 weeks looking out at this GFS model. Don't know how our crops are going to handle that because they're not mature yet. Myself and my co-author Bill Porter talk about these very things on how the growing season is going to constrict and our crops in the fields aren't going to get mature. And the yields from this year are going to be lower and lower. And it looks like we're right on target here. Climate Revolution, the Grand Solar Minimum. Understand, prepare, adapt, and thrive. The link's in the description box below, and it's another way to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.